first we will discuss about our concrete. Idealized stress strain curve of concrete. What is this? See, we have already discussed about the stress strain curve of the concrete. As we have discussed, it is a non-linear curve like this. We will take the strain value here in the x-axis, and if we take the stress value here in the y-axis, and we will be getting a non-linear curve like this, where we will be having the maximum stress at the strain value 0.002, and the stress value corresponding to that is taken as our FCK, that is characteristic compressive strength of the concrete. So we have already discussed about this. If it is a high yield stress or a high strength concrete, it will lean towards our y-axis. Why? Because it is less ductile. And if it is a low strength concrete, it will lean towards our x-axis. So forget about that. I am considering a stress strain for a ordinary concrete, right? We already discussed, right? This is a stress strain. This is our stress strain curve of the concrete, and the strain value corresponding to this point. This is actually our breaking point or failure point, and it will come around 0.3% to 0.5%. We have discussed about this also, right now. But I told you one more thing. We will not be considering this stress strain curve. We will not be considering this curve for the design. Why? Because it's a bit complex, right? To make it simpler, to make the analysis, to make the design, to make the study simpler, we are not going to consider this stress strain curve in our IS 456-2000. Our IS 456-2000 is giving us a different stress strain curve of steel. He is suggesting us to take a to consider the stress strain curve like this. Here we will be having our strain value, we will be having our stress value like this, and he suggests that we already know this, right? The stress strain curve will be like this. This is the maximum strain at the strain value 0.002. It will be a non-linear curve, right? He is considering that, he is telling us that do not consider the curve portion after this peak value, or do not consider the parabola or non-linear portion after this 0.002 value. We already discussed this will be our FCK, that is characteristic compressive strength of the concrete. This will be our FCK. Stress corresponding to this peak value or strain, this 0.002 will be our FCK. And IS code is telling us that consider the stress strain curve like this, after the strain value like this, which means as per IS 456-2000, the stress strain curve of the concrete will be a non-linear curve, or it will be considered as a parabola till the strain value 0.002. After that, the stress will be uniform till the failure. Getting it? As per our assumption, or as per our IS 456-2000, we are going to consider the stress strain curve of the concrete like this. It will be a parabola. It will be a parabola till the strain value of 0.002. After that, it will be a uniform value till the strain value 0.0035. Getting it? This is called the idealized stress strain curve of the concrete. Getting it or not? We will be having a parabola till the strain value 0.002. You can just compare it with this curve, actual curve. And after that, it is not like this. We have to consider a uniform stress value till the strain value 0.0035. This is called the idealized stress strain curve of the concrete. This is FCK, or I can consider it here. I am going to write it here. That is FCK. Please note it down. This will be our stress strain curve of the concrete. Will be a parabola till the strain value 0.002. After that, it will be a straight line, uniform straight line till the strain value of 0.0035. Done, right? Yeah. As we have discussed in the previous lectures, we cannot take this FCK value for the design. Why? Because in LSM, limit state method of design, the strength of the material is underestimated. This FCK is the characteristic compressive strength of the concrete block, right? For finding the characteristic strength of the concrete, what we will do, we will cast the cube and we will test it for compressive strength after 28 days, right? But this compressive strength I am getting by this cube test will be much different from the compressive strength of the concrete in the structure. Getting it? We will be casting the concrete cube, that is 150 mm by 150 mm by 150 mm, and we will do all the procedures mentioned in our IS code. After that, after 28 days of curing, we will test it for compressive strength, and we will find the compressive strength. It will be represented at the characteristic compressive strength of the concrete. We know the equation FCK is equal to Fm minus 1.65 sigma. And the compressive strength I obtained there in that cube will be actually much different from the compressive strength of the actual structure due to a factor called slenderness ratio. You don't have to remember that. But this difference I have to consider in the design. So it is generally observed that this is actually for cube, right? This is cube strength. This is cube strength. That is characteristic compressive strength of the cube. See, generally it is observed that the compressive strength of the structure of the concrete structure will be a bit lesser than the compressive strength of the cube I obtained. So generally it is obtained that or observed that the compressive strength will be around 33% less, or I can consider 67% of this characteristic compressive strength. This will be the strength of the structure. That is our cube strength. This will be our strength in the structure. In structure, the cube, the strength of the compressive strength or the characteristic compressive strength of the concrete in structure, that is 0.67 FCK. And after that we discussed for structure actually we cannot use this value, right? We have to underestimate this. How to do that? By using the partial safety factor for material. What is the partial safety factor for concrete? Any idea? What is the partial safety factor for material for this concrete? We have discussed in the previous lecture. What is partial safety factor for concrete in the material and concrete? Partial safety factor for concrete. Exactly 1.5. Super, very good. We have to use that partial safety factor here. That means we have to multiply it or divide it. We have to multiply it or divide it. We have to divide it. Why? Because we have to underestimate the strength. Na? So dividing 0.67 FCK with 1.5. What is the value you will be getting? What is the value you will be getting? If I divide 0.67 FCK with 1.5, what is the value you will be getting? You will be getting something around 0.446 FCK, or I am going to consider it as 0.45 FCK. 0.45 FCK. Right now? So it will come a bit below, right? Yeah, it will be a curve like this. A parabola till the strain value 0.002. After that it will be uniform till the strain value 0.0035, and the strain value here which I am going to consider for the design will be is equal to 0.45 FCK. This is for the design. For design. I am going to, for the design of the structure, we are going to consider the characteristic compressive strength of the concrete as 0.45 FCK, or we can say design strength of the concrete. Design strength of concrete as per IS 456-2000 will be is equal to 0.45 FCK. 0.45 FCK. Very, very important. You have to remember this. Design strength of the concrete as per IS 456-2000 will be equal to 0.45 FCK. Remember how we are getting this. FCK will be the characteristic strength of the cube. I am getting it by the cube test. In actual structure, this strength will be much different. The strength will be, it is generally observed that the strength of the structure will be much lesser than the cube strength. It is generally found it is 33% less, or you can say 0.67% of, sorry, 67% of FCK. So for structure, you have to consider strength value of 0.67 FCK. And this strength value for the design, we have to underestimate it by considering a partial safety factor for material. For concrete, it is 1.5. Divided with 1.5, we will be getting the strength value for the concrete, that is 0.45 FCK. For design, we are going to consider the strength of the concrete, or the design strength of the concrete will be equal to 0.45 FCK or 0.446 FCK. Right? Please note it down. And Srikanth was asking a doubt actually. What was the doubt? Rudhraj, we are overestimating the stress. Actually, Rudhraj, we will underestimate the stress. That's what we have done now. Maximum strain is 0.C. Srikanth, actually, that's an assumption. We will discuss it now. As per that assumption, we have to consider the strength value like this. That is 0.0035. That means we are assuming that the failure will be occurring at the strain value 0.0035. Fine. Ritu, actually, to make the calculation simpler, to make the design simpler, to make the procedure simpler, that's why we are assuming it as linear variation after 0.0, not linear, actually uniform till the strain value 0.005, 0035, right? Actually, our engineering subjects are based on many assumptions, right? In geotech also, or in strength of materials also, or in fluid mechanics also, we'll be having many number of assumptions to make the study simpler. Okay, that's why you are considering it like that. Saksham, yes, maximum strain is considered as 0.0035 inflection. Okay, inflection in bending. Okay, yes, please note it down and tell me when it is finished. Srikanth, is this the tensile strength? Yes. Vikram Singh, actually I am waiting, no issues. You can tell me when it is finished. I will wait till you finish. Srikanth, is this the tensile strength of the concrete in flexure? No, Srikanth, actually we discussed in the previous lecture. I think you were present. The tensile strength in concrete in flexure is also known as the modulus of rupture. It will be equal to 0.7 root FCK. 0.7 root FCK. Here it is actually the compressive strength of the concrete. Okay, the compressive strength of the concrete or characteristic compressive strength of the concrete, which we need it for the design. Okay, this is the compressive strength of the concrete, not the tensile strength. Okay, Srikanth. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can just contact me. We will discuss there. Vikram Singh, Rajiput. Okay. Sorry sir, late because of JEE exams. It's okay. Make it fast. Now we are going to discuss about the idealized stress strain curve for our steel. I am going to consider our HYST steel bar here, right? So the stress strain curve for HYST steel bar was like this. This is the strain and this is the stress, and the stress strain curve was something like this. Correct? For finding the yield strength, what I did, I considered the strain value 0.002 and I have drawn a straight line here, and the stress value corresponding to that is considered as our Fy, that is yield strength of the steel bar. Here it is 0.002. This is a stress value. This is the stress strain curve I considered. Here also, after this strain value, that is 0. After this strain value, I am not going to consider it as a curved one. I will be considering it straight. But actually, what I am going to do is I am going to consider it as a straight one. And after that, this is actually our Fy value. This is Fy value. And what is the factor of safety? What is the partial safety factor as considered for the steel as per limit state of collapse? What is the partial safety factor I considered for steel as per limit state of collapse? Yes, it is 1.15. See, steel is actually a homogeneous material, right? In steel as it is, or steel in concrete, or steel in structure, everywhere it will be having the yield value Fy. So here we don't have to reduce the yield strength value, right? Here if I am taking the steel bar, here also it is Fy, and in the structure also it will be having a strain value, stress value of Fy. So you don't have to consider just like we did in concrete. You have reduced the strength value, right? The compressive strength of cube is FCK. For structure I have considered it as 0.67 FCK. Here we don't have to do anything like that. But for the design we have to apply this partial safety factor for material, the partial safety factor for steel. So this is Fy. If I apply the partial safety factor for steel, that is Fy divided by 1.15, we will be getting it as 0.87 Fy, which is known as the design strength of the steel. So I will be getting something around you will be getting it somewhere around here. You will be getting it around here, which is our 0.87 Fy. How I am getting this? I am getting this by dividing this yield strength with our partial safety factor for material. Partial safety factor for material. This will be our that strength value for the design. That is 0.87 Fy. Strength value here will be 0.87 Fy. What is the strain value corresponding to that? What will be the strain value? So, till here it is 0.002, right? And what will be the strain value till here? If we take it here, 0.0025, this will be our Young's modulus of steel. This is 0.87 Fy. We know how to calculate this, right? It will be, we have discussed it just now. It will be 0.002 and remaining portion will be Fy divided by 1.15 ES. Or total strain value will be is equal to 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.15 ES. You have to remember this. The strain value here will be is equal to 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.15 ES. Yes, and in the Srikanth, everyone is saying that 0.87 FY divided by AS. It's very good, is correct. But better remember it like this. Why? Because in some questions now, in some questions, he will be giving a different value for this partial safety factor for steel. It is here it is as per LS limit state of collapse, it is 1.15. But sometimes in the question he will be giving a different value, maybe 1.2 or maybe 1.25 like that. In that case, it's better to remember like this, right? If that strain value here will be equal to 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.15 ES, where ES is the modulus of elasticity of the steel and Fy is the yield strength of the steel. Okay, it's better to remember like this. Don't go for 0.002 plus 0.87 Fy divided by ES. Even if they are giving a different partial safety factor, you will remember this equation like this and you will get the wrong answer. So better write the equation like this, and always remember they can change this partial safety factor in the question. For our concrete also, there the partial safety factor is 1.5, but in the question they can give it as 1.2, 1.3, 1.45 like that, to just to confuse you. Okay, so if they are giving a different partial safety factor, then the design strength will be something else. It will not be 0.45 FCK, it will not be 0.87 FA. This is as per our IAS 456 2000. Okay, please note it down. Nothing is there, just remember the strain value. Just remember, this is the strength of the steel as per limit state of collapse. This is the design strength of the steel as per our limit state method, that is 0.87 Fy. We know how we are getting this, and the strain value corresponding to that will be equal to 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.15 ES, where Fy is the yield strength and ES is the Young's modulus of elasticity of the steel. Okay, fine. Here this will be the idealized stress strain curve for steel. Idealized stress strain curve for steel. Hi Ramesh, you are a bit late. We were discussing about, actually we just started now. We were discussing about the idealized stress strain curve of concrete, idealized stress strain curve of steel, etc. Okay. So we are moving further. Now please give the heading cover to reinforcement or cover requirements. Or cover, you can give the heading it as cover. What is cover? You might be already knowing this. What is cover? Any idea what is cover? Yes, you are right. You are right. See, when we have to, suppose we are having a beam here. We are having a beam here like this. And I'm not talking about the singly reinforced or doubly reinforced beam. I'm having a beam here. See, where we will place the reinforcement? Of course, we will be placing the reinforcement in the tension side. Right now, we will be placing the reinforcement in the tension side. Why? Because concrete is weak in tension. So, below the neutral axis, there will be tension. So, we will be providing the tension reinforcement there below the neutral axis. Suppose I can provide the reinforcement here. I can provide the reinforcement here, just at the bottom fiber. So, we don't prefer giving the reinforcement like this. Right? We will always place the reinforcement by giving a gap. We will always place the reinforcement by giving a gap, considering the effect of the weather and all. Why? Because this reinforcement is actually susceptible to corrosion, right? See, in weather there will be raining, will be there. Weather conditions will change from time to time, right? This weather conditions will affect the life of the reinforcement. If with the cover value, that is, this gap is very less, there is a possibility of corrosion in the reinforcement. And one more reason is there, if the cover is less, there will not be the reinforcement, the bond between reinforcement and the concrete will not be that much. Therefore, having better bond between the concrete and the reinforcement, to protect from the reinforcement from corrosion or from the weather actions, we have to provide a gap here. We have to provide that minimum cover which should be given. That distance or that gap given to the reinforcement is called cover. Right? Here we can define the cover in three different ways. First one is known as clear cover. Second one is known as effective cover. And one more thing is there, that is called nominal cover. Nominal cover. So what is this? Clear cover, effective cover and nominal cover. See, if I consider a beam like this, I'm again considering a beam like this. We are having our beam like this. This is our beam, and we are giving the reinforcement like this. We are having a reinforcement here. This is our reinforcement. This is also called our reinforcement, and I am giving a reinforcement here in the compression zone also. This is called a doubly reinforced beam. We will be discussing about that. We have a separate topic for that. But still understand it for the sake of understanding this cover. I am going to take a beam like this. That is doubly reinforced beam, and we are going to provide the reinforcement like this also, which is called shear reinforcement. We will be discussing about that also in the coming lectures. We are having our shear reinforcement like this. This is also a reinforcement. This is provided to take care of our shear, which is going to be there in the beam due to external loadings. So we will be providing the shear reinforcement like this. We will be providing our shear reinforcement like this. So this is called main reinforcement. This is called main reinforcement, and this is called shear reinforcement. Shear reinforcement and our main reinforcement. Right. So what is cover? I told you the gap between the reinforcement and the concrete and the bottom fiber, that is called our bottom fiber, or the nearest side of the concrete is called our cover. So here what I am going to do is, we can see we have our main reinforcement here. We are having the one more reinforcement here. See, that is called secondary stirrup or our shear reinforcement. Yes, Saksham, you are right. That is called stirrup or shear reinforcement. See, the distance from the nearest face of the concrete to the nearest reinforcement is called our nominal cover, or I am going to consider it as CN. Distance from the nearest face of our concrete to the nearest face of our reinforcement, any reinforcement. It can be our main reinforcement or it can be our shear reinforcement. If we are providing shear reinforcement, distance from here to this reinforcement is called our nominal cover. And from our distance from our main reinforcement, that is from here to this edge, is called our clear cover. It is called clear cover. One more is there, which is very common, and you might be knowing about this. Distance from here to the center of our reinforcement is called effective cover to the reinforcement. You should know this. This is called effective cover, this is called clear cover, and this is called nominal cover. In case if you are not providing our shear stirrup, this clear cover and nominal cover will become same. Right now, this is called nominal cover, clear cover, and our effective cover. Our IS code is suggesting minimum cover values. Our IS code is suggesting us to provide a minimum cover value for different reinforced concrete structures, and it depends upon the exposure conditions. We have discussed about the exposure conditions in the previous lecture. Based on various exposure conditions, he is considering us to take a minimum nominal cover to be provided. Minimum nominal cover to be provided. He is giving us some values. We know the exposure conditions, right? First exposure condition is mild. Second one will be a moderate, and we have severe, and we have very severe, extreme, very severe exposure condition, and we have extreme exposure condition. What is the minimum nominal cover value given by our IS 456-2000 for this mild exposure condition? The value is 25 mm. We have to provide a minimum of 25 mm as our minimum nominal cover value for the exposure condition, mild exposure condition. For moderate exposure condition, it is 30 mm, and for severe condition, it is 40 mm. It is 45 mm, I guess, and here it is 50 mm, and finally for extreme condition, we have to provide a minimum cover value of 75 mm. These are the minimum cover values, that is nominal cover values to be provided for our different end conditions or different our exposure conditions. You have to remember these values, and you have to remember what is clear cover, what is effective cover, and what is nominal cover. These values are nominal cover values, okay? Not the clear cover, not the effective cover. These are nominal cover values, and the values are 25, 30, 45, 50, and 75 mm for different exposure conditions like mild, moderate, severe, very severe, and extreme. We know what is this exposure condition, right? If the concrete is not exposed to any weather conditions, it is considered as mild. And if the concrete is near to a seashore Those kind of things will be considered as severe condition. We have discussed about this. I have given you a table also in the previous lecture, right? Yes, please note it down. We have to remember these values, okay? 25, 30, 45, 50 and 75. Understand why we are providing cover. Why we are providing cover? To protect the main reinforcement, or to protect the reinforcement from corrosion or from the weather actions, to have a proper bond between the reinforcement and the concrete. Remember these two reasons why we are providing the cover value to the reinforcement. Okay. You can start solving this question. It is an IES question. Everyone please go through this question. Vikram. Yes, Vikram, we can go through this question and give me the answers please. I'll read the question for you. Without any calculation, you can give me the answer. It's a direct question. The stress strain curve for concrete as per IES 456-2000 is. Its options are also given. Option A perfect straight line till failure. Option B, a straight line up to 0.002 strain value and then parabolic up to failure. Option C, parabolic till 0.002 strain value and then uniform up to failure. Linear up to 0.002 strain and uniform up to failure. Yes, what is the answer? Yes, superb. Everyone is giving me the correct answer. Right. We have discussed it right now, right? Our stress strain curve will be somewhat like this. Our idealized stress strain curve will be having the actual stress strain curve will be like this. This is the strain value 0.002, and but for our IS code we are not going to get a not going to consider this stress strain curve. After this parabolic portion I am going to consider it as a straight line, which will be our FCK. But I am not going to consider the FCK for the structures. This will be our FCK for the structure, that is 0.7 FCK. But for the design, we have to apply the partial safety factor for concrete, that is 1.5. We will be getting it as 0.45 FCK. The strain value, this is the stress value at the failure. The strain value corresponding to that will be our 0.0035. You have to remember this. If they are going to ask a question, they are going to ask the question directly. It is a strain value, let's say parabola till the strain value 0.002. After that, it will be uniform till the strain value 0.0035. Right? Go to next question. I think no one is giving me wrong answer. Everyone is giving me the correct answer. Super, very good. So go to next question and give me the answers. You can see two questions there. Answer one by one. Yes, very good. So first question, what is the first question? The design strength of the steel in limit state design is option A, Fy divided by 1.5, option B, Fy divided by 0.87, option C, 0.87 Fy, option D, 0.27 Fy. You know answer is C, that is 0.87 Fy. Why it is 0.87 Fy? The yield strength of the steel is Fy. For the design we have to use our partial safety factor for steel, that is 1.15. Fy divided by 1.15 will be equal to 0.87 Fy. Our answer will be C for that question. If you look at that option, he has created some traps for just to trap you. Option A, you can see that is Fy divided by 1.5. You can just confuse in that partial safety factor. Get confused in that partial safety factor for concrete and steel. For concrete, it is 1.5. If you divide it by it with 1.5, you are not going to get the correct answer, right? So if you see, you can see the option B also. There is 0.87 is there. If you are not looking at the options, if you are not reading the options correctly, you are going to get a wrong answer. Then you will be directly going for B. Why? Because in 0.87 Fy is there in the equation, right? So it is Fy divided by 0.87, which is also wrong. Option C will be the correct answer, 0.87 Fy. So answer C is correct for question 1. And for question 2, the design strength of the concrete as per limit state of design. Without looking at the option, you are going to give me the answer. As per our limit state of collapse flexure, the design strength of the concrete will be equal to 0.45 FCK. Listen, there is 0.67 FCK is also there in the question. What is 0.67 FCK? That is the characteristic compressive strength to be considered for the structure. For the structure, it will be 0.67 FCK, but for our design, we have to consider a strength value of 0.45 FCK. We know how we are getting it. 0.67 FCK divided by 1.5 will be equal to 0.44 FCK or will 446 FCK, or we will consider it as 0.45 FCK. Getting now? So I think it's clear, right? You can find many number of questions from this concept, that is idealized stress strain curve and partial safety factor for material. Partial safety factor for load is also very important for GATE exam. I think we can move further, right? Yes, go to this question. I'll read the question for you. The maximum strain in the tension reinforcement in the section at failure shall not be less than. What is the answer? Answer is A. Right? Answer is A. Why it is A? We have discussed it now. 0.002 plus Fy divided by 1.15 ES or 0.002 plus 0.87 Fy divided by ES. That is the strain value at failure. That's the strain value I am going to consider at the failure. Right? Yes. I think no need to discuss it here. We have already discussed about this. Right now?